Are you ready to become an escapreneur? Well, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast, designed by brilliant women, especially for brilliant women who want to create the life of their dreams by escaping the 9 to 5.
Welcome to the Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast, where we are helping women to escape the 9 to 5 and build a business that they love. Please like, comment, and download the episodes. You will surely find something that you can use here. And today, I have an amazing guest with me, Miss Pamela Lewerenz, and she is a business consultant that coaches ambitious, action-oriented Gen X entrepreneurs. Nice. How to run successful and sustainable business. Pamela, welcome. How are you?
I am good. Thanks for having me today.
Good. Now, Pamela has an amazing story. Her story is kind of similar to mine in a way. She has a background in finance and accounting, kind of like I did. And so I want her to tell her story, but Pamela is also living now in my neck of the woods. I grew up in South Carolina, and Pamela is living in South Carolina.
Yay.
And she is here under hurricane warnings.
You got that. I'm evacuating.
As soon as she's done, she's evacuating.
Pretty much.
So Pamela, give us the backstory of how you got to this point, your journey here so far.
All right. Well, I actually grew up in northeastern Connecticut, and I graduated from business school with a concentration in accounting, and there's that finance background, and also in office management. And then I transferred over to a local community college and went on and finished my degree off in business management. And I have pretty much for over 30 years worked in the business field, either in the private or the public sector. And then I started a side hustle bookkeeping business back in 2009. And that was really because I was sitting on a library board at the time, and one of my fellow members, he and his wife owned their own financial company, and she was ill, and he needed somebody to step in and help him that he knew and trusted, and somebody that had the kind of background that I did. So I didn't say no, and I kind of started doing that, 18 or 20 hours a week in addition to my full-time job. I was, helping a friend, and I actually liked it. So then fast forwarding to a few years, October of 2014, actually, I was on a 2-week vacation with my husband in the Outer Banks. It was wonderful, except that it rained every single day, except the last day we were there. So there was a lot of soul searching going on and thoughtful time. And I just woke up one morning and I said, at the time, I was holding an elected position in my town as a revenue collector. I had been doing that for about 12 years. And I asked my husband, what would you say if I gave that up and just did this, created my side hustle into a full-time business? He was like, oh, I'm all for it. Go ahead. Do whatever you want. Which was awesome. So I couldn't wait. We returned from vacation and I filed my paperwork and became an LLC. And then for the next year, I really worked double duty. I worked my 2 jobs during the day, and I built this business in the evenings, sometimes wee hours into the morning.
Yes.
And it took 12 months to replace the income that I had at my full-time job in now what was my business. And so I really opened my business full-time in October of 2015.
Very nice, Pamela. Now, when you were talking about doing the bookkeeping as a side hustle, it took me back to my days. And I just have to share this funny story. I thought, when I was working full time as an accountant, I had thought once, okay, I can do this part time for myself. Well, I didn't have a lot of business acumen back then, Pamela. So I did. And I had all of these clients suddenly, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to really, really manage a business. So I probably did that for about 3 months, and I was like totally overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, I was sitting on the floor crying one night. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I was not brave enough. I had gone through a divorce. I had 3 little kids. And so I wasn't brave enough like you to walk away and say, you know what? I'm going to just do this full time. I was so tied to that paycheck. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. So I gave up all those clients. I found them another person that would work with them because I felt like I just couldn't do it. But I was working nonstop with 3 kids. And so I wasn't brave enough to just say, let me take this leap of faith. So that's amazing because it sounds like that's what you did. You were just soul searching one weekend and said, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I knew that I wanted to own my own business. I had for many years struggled with, hey, I want to do it, but I don't know what I would do. And I came from a family of entrepreneurs. Both my parents owned a business together, a trucking business that they started back in the 1960s. So I grew up with that, and they ran it out of the house. I didn't, I just thought, everybody's family had a business and did that. When you're a kid, you don't know. And then I'm one of 7 kids, and I have 2 brothers. Well, no, actually 3 of my brothers and one of my sisters that went on to be entrepreneurs in their own type of business, all very different. And I thought, I had that ingrained in me, but I also had this other thing of being chained to someone else's desk, doing what they wanted me to do when they wanted me to do it. And it was getting old. It was just getting old. I was like rolling out of bed on a Monday morning thinking, are you kidding me? I have to get ready and go to that place. Like same thing day after day. And I don't know. Midlife crisis, maybe.
No, I just think you knew it was a different season in your life, and you just knew time.
Yeah, I was ready for it.
Yes, I mean, especially just looking at your family, that was your destiny almost. You were destined to be, an entrepreneur. You had those fine examples. My mom was my greatest role model, and she would work. And she taught us good work ethics. So her thing always was go to college, get a good job, and work. Well,
Mine too. And I often thought maybe it was generational. My mom is my biggest role model, and she's one of my biggest cheerleaders. She is proud of me every minute, and I'm super proud of her. She is going to be 90 years old in December this year. Wow. And, even though I moved away from Connecticut and I'm down here, we talk all the time, and she remains my biggest cheerleader. She always asks, how's your business? How's everything going? I mean, it's nice to see that I still have that support even from afar from her. When she has so many other things that she can worry about, she still thinks of all those little details.
That's very, very nice. That's a blessing to have your mom at 90.
Yeah.
Because my mom passed away when she was in her 70s. And so, but it's a blessing to still have her, and she is still actively being your cheerleader. That's really nice.
Yeah.
So, Pamela, your business is your actual website is Brick Wall Coach, and you call yourself the Brick Wall Coach. Why?
Yep. Well, that's not so easy to explain. But it's actually got a kind of funny story to it, so I'll tell it.
Okay.
When I originally started my business, I was named balanced numbers. And that was because of the accounting piece. And I quickly, I mean, that was like my registered name was Balanced Numbers, but I really was Balanced Business Services because I did more than just the accounting.
Right.
And then, that was back in 2014 when I did this LLC. And then as things went along, I did a shift in like January of 2016 where I thought, I really want to get more into the nitty gritty of working with business owners above and beyond the finances, which is very, very important. But there's other pieces I could see that they needed help with even more than that. So I did a lot more of the consulting piece. And I thought, I kept getting hung up on that numbers piece. People were like, oh, I just thought you did numbers accounting. So I didn't know you did that. And I thought, I have to change my name. But I was stuck on the balanced. And I picked balanced for two reasons. Balanced because it has to do with numbers, but balanced because it's like a work-life balance. When you're an entrepreneur, you're always trying to do the best you can.
Right.
So I didn't want to leave the balanced out. And I thought for weeks about what I was going to do. And one day I was sitting at my desk. It was a Saturday, late morning, early afternoon. I'm sitting at my desk and I thought, I can't believe I have spent weeks trying to figure out what my new name is going to be. This is ridiculous. I'm like, I put my head down on my desk and I thought, I have literally hit a brick wall. Wait a minute. Brick wall coach. I go running out to the kitchen. I'm telling my husband and he goes, that sounds great. Why don't you, poll some people and ask them what they think? And I thought, heck, it resonates with me. It'll resonate with other people.
Yes.
I'll just make it resonate with other people. So it kind of has a dual meaning, even as the brick wall coach, because not only do I break through the barriers that people have built around them.
Nice.
I also do a solid foundation with people, building the business plans from the floor up. So I still think I've got one of those names that runs like a dual, a dual meaning.
Yes, absolutely. And it's people, I'm sure you hear it all the time. They say, why brick wall? What's a brick wall, coach? Yeah. So it's very nice. Yeah. And the meaning of it is so significant because until you have done this side hustle, people call it the side hustle or the side business, or they the part-time or whatever, until you have done this, you don't realize how much you need to break through and how much you really need to break through of stuff.
Yeah, stuff. That's exactly what it is. I mean, it's stuff, and there's a lot of it. The list is long.
Yes, the list is long. So now, I know, so you work with Gen X entrepreneurs, and you help them to actually build their business from the ground up.
Yeah.
So a huge part of that is building a list or a community. And I definitely want to focus on a little bit of that this morning, Pamela. And definitely in your business, you have definitely built a list because you've got great clients and you have a community because I'm in your community.
Yeah.
You got a great community.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about how did you go about being able to build that list and that community?
That's a great question. I think it all began with networking. So when I first, and this goes back, this is why I'm so passionate about really helping the Gen X piece of it, is because it's not that we're unfamiliar with computers, but when most of us in that age group started working with it, we were back on AOL and chat rooms and that kind of stuff. So it's more or less showing people what's out on the internet and getting to know them better. And that's why LinkedIn and Facebook, all those are really, really good for business groups. So it all starts really with the networking. So when I first started coming on, I really searched for people that needed a helping hand with their business. And I literally reached out to them and said, you want to have a coffee chat with me? So it wasn't just necessarily those people. I also balanced it with different influencers that I had read about or I'd listened to on a podcast or whatever, and I reached out to them and I said, hey, I'm kind of new at this and I want to talk to you. And the response was wonderful. It was really wonderful. So I think that's a big piece of it, is making sure you're reaching out to other people. And then as I began to make those connections, I took, and on my website, which is down at the moment because I'm changing what I'm doing, I have always a freebie that I offer to people. So I build my list through my freebie, and I try to change my freebie every so often. And then making my own group was like the next natural progression to that. And gathering those people that my message was resonating with and bringing them into my community. And that's why I call it the Brick Wall Community, because it isn't just a group, it's a community of really passionate, ambitious entrepreneurs, all climbing the ladder to success. It's people just starting out. It's people that have been in business for 10 years, but they still need help. You need help no matter if you've been in the business for 20 years. You might not need the same kind of help you need 5 years ago. But there's always something new to learn. So it's like a combination of all those things of and list building is super important. I mean, without a list, you can preach to an empty room, but nobody's going to listen. So yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, doing the, being a guest on podcasts like this, or, uploading videos to YouTube, or doing live streams every so often, whatever that is, to find a following, to have people, they can say, oh, there's somebody called the Brick Wall Coach, but as you have to feel comfortable with that person and their message, or you're not going to listen to them.
Absolutely, Pamela. Now, you said a lot. You had a lot of golden nuggets in there. Definitely.
I always say too much.
No, that was perfect. You had a lot of golden nuggets in there. And this is what I want my audience to really, really catch. Pamela did not wait for people to notice her. She raised her hand and got out there and waved that big flag and said, hey, I'm Pamela. I'm here. I want to talk to you. I want to pick your brain. I love that.
Yeah.
So many of us decide to get in business and we think that we've got this great thing to offer and somebody is going to come find us because we've got the next best thing. But that is so far from the truth. That is not the truth at all. I mean, what happens is when you are proactive and you get out there and you network and you get in groups and you meet new people and you do different things and get on podcasts, and so what? You may not think your message is anything important at the moment, but the more you do it, the more it will become. It will
Absolutely.
become more and more important. And so thank you, Pamela, for sharing that, because I preach it all the time, but I'm glad that you're backing me up on this one.
It is. And I think, especially for introverts, that's a really hard thing to do. But I put myself in the category of being an introvert. I'm not one of those people. I'm married to one of those people that will go out there and go, hey, I'm the life of the party. I'm not like that. So I work very hard to overcome that. That's one of my hurdles. And by reaching out to people, I looked at it this way. What's the worst that can happen? They're going to say no. And I move on to the next one. There's millions of people out there. And I'm going to find the people that I resonate with and say, ooh, she clicked with me. So,
Absolutely.
and it's been great. And you never know what new avenues are going to open up from all those collaborations that you do with people. I mean, it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Absolutely. And now, Pamela, I would not have guessed that that you consider yourself an introvert. From the first I met you, it was like you're just a ray of sunshine. That's why I'm
Oh,
like,
thank you.
yeah, I would never
No,
have guessed you thought
no.
you were an
I
introvert.
was always the quiet little kid that sat in the back of the room, and if the teacher called on me, I'd be like, "Oh man, why'd you have to notice me? I didn't put my book up high enough." Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, yes. So funny. But yes, I mean, you're doing great work. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, you talked about your group a little bit, your Facebook group, the Brick Wall, and I know that you have guest experts that
I
come in
do.
there. I'm going to be a guest expert on there soon, yes, in October. And tell us a little bit about what people, so I want my audience to hear what they'll get coming to the Brick Wall. Because what happens is, this is a group unlike any other I've seen, in that they have the guest expert that comes in and trains the entire week.
Yeah.
So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about that.
Well, my group is new. I mean, literally, I opened my group, I think it was June of last year, and my VA and I, talked about it, and she helped me out, and we were in the group together. And then, I don't know, the last week of July, the first week of August, I said to her during one of our conversations, I said, well, this is a great community of you and I. We really need to start publicizing that this is out. So I really call August of 2017 is when I opened, because that's when I started talking to other people and saying, hey, I have this really neat group. And so I started to build it. And then as I got into Q4, I thought I really want to kickstart this in 2018 and make it something special like no other group is. And part of the problem I see with other groups is that when I would go in to some of these groups and start to say, oh, I have a brick wall community of, they'd be like, nope, you're out of here. You can't
Yes.
promote your group in here. And I'm thinking, I wasn't promoting, I was sharing. And what makes you think that somebody can't belong to more than one group? I'm not trying to take your people. I'm trying to
Exactly.
broaden the horizons here for them. So it was funny. It was comical to me. So it was a little bit of a struggle, like August through December of last year, figuring out how I was going to do it. And I started doing it with coffee chats. So every single person I spoke to, I would tell them about it, and I would ask them to please tell 5 or 6 of their people that it might resonate with. So I started to grow it. So I was getting excited. And then I learned in certain groups on certain days you can do certain things, and I'd plug it. I got it. And then I thought, but I really want it to be different. And how can I make it different? I want it to be a group where people feel safe, where people can really express themselves. But I also want it to be a group where they're learning something. You don't want to come to a group where, you're not learning anything.
Right.
So I came up with the idea that I wanted guest experts, but I wanted to do it weekly. To give people a chance to build the like, no trust factor, and really get to know this person. I mean, you can see just this one thing with me, and it might be like, yeah, I'll follow along another time. So I think if they start on Monday, by Friday, you have a really good idea of what kind of person they are. And it just really, whatever your topic is going to be that you're speaking about, you just do that all week long. I ask for one live stream. It's usually like a demonstration or a step-by-step, or just, some people go in and just tell us what their business is and how it helps other people, whatever way they feel comfortable. I've had some people that have never done a live stream at all. So I will take them onto Zoom and I'll do what you and I are doing. I'll record it and then I upload the recording for them. It makes them feel more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to be as supportive as possible to everybody who goes in there. I'm in the group every day, and I do all my own posts. I come up with all my own material. I don't let anybody else do it. I did take one vacation since I've had this group, and I told everybody I'm going to be out for a week. I'm like turning my computer off. So I have some pre-posted things, but I have somebody in the group watching so that if anything happened. But other than that, I'm in all the time. And I get a lot of feedback. The group is growing. I don't want it to grow to be like some of these groups that have 30,000 people in them.
Oh, yes.
Because then I'm going to lose that. Like when people come in, I always reach out to them and say, if I haven't had a coffee chat with you, how about, let's schedule something. I like to get to know everybody.
Yeah.
So as long as it remains under 500, I can continue coffee chats. And then my next thought is that once it reaches that level, I'm just going to do like a once a week coffee chat, like a group coffee chat in there. So everybody can still.
Yeah. Very
together.
nice. Those are definitely great ideas. I get the notifications on my phone and I see Pamela is just like always in there and I'm like, oh, I feel so inadequate because she's just always in there.
Well, one of the things I do with these guest experts too is that's a week out of your life that you're coming in and presenting in my group. And that's, as you know, it's not easy. You have to come up with the material, you need the graphics, it's your time to do live streams. So in return, the week prior to you coming in, I write a blog just for you. I send that out to all my followers, my entire email list, and I post it across 5 different social media platforms with the graphics that I make up. And talk it up. So everybody knows it's happening. So depending on what the subject is, and it can range. People come in and talk about finances. People talk about, different apps or programs, all kinds of things. I'm constantly learning in there, and that's really what it's all about. Everybody needs to keep on learning. You can never know enough.
Pamela, that's amazing. And I'll tell you why. And I hope my audience is catching this. Pamela has figured out that, and this is what I hear when you're telling me this. Pamela has figured out that collaboration is the key, not competition. And some of the other groups that it sounds like she's been in, and I've been there too, they feel like you are competing if you put too much information in there, and that's ridiculous. There's a quote that says, a rising tide raises all ships. And that's what I believe that we as women should be for each other, a rising tide, so that we're looking at each other and saying, how can I support and lift you up? And Pamela has found a key for that. And I commend you for that, Pamela. That is amazing. I love that concept. I am just starting a Facebook group. Yes, you heard me. I am just starting a Facebook group. So I feel like you. I'm lonely in there. I had, you have to put one person in there. I put a friend of mine in there, and it's just the 2 of us. And my friend said to me the other day, because I just haven't had a lot of time. I started in the first part of September, and I just have not had a lot of time. And she said, but you've got to figure out that time to just post in there every day, even though there's just me and you. You've got to put some content in there. So that's what I'm in the process of doing. And so it's a challenge. It's not definitely an easy thing. It's a challenge. But thank you, Pamela, for inspiring me to really put some effort towards that and not just leave it an empty group. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes. Now, when you go to Pamela's website, which is brickwallcoach.com, there's a lot of resources on there. I really, really love that. You have a lot of free resources on there. So you want to make sure and check that out, because she has a lot of great things on there. Now, Pamela, one of the things that you said on your website was you're getting more adventurous.
I'm sorry. I'm getting more what? What's
adventurous.
That? Oh my gosh. See, that's the introvert that I'm pushing away.
So you, on your website, you said you did something interesting for the first time.
I did. Well, I did a couple of things. So one of the things that's popping into my mind right now is that I got a tattoo.
Yes.
And everybody's like, whoa. Yes, I got a tattoo because, again, I don't know. I've had this thing in the back of my mind since I was probably 18 years old that I wanted a tattoo. Do you think I knew what I wanted? No. But it never went away. Like year after year, I'd be like, next year is the year I'm going to get that tattoo. So I finally went and got that done.
That is really nice. You know, I've had that in the back of my mind too for like ever, but I'm just going to be honest, I'm scared.
Oh, I kind of, I was. I wasn't kind of, I was. But I knew that I wanted the infinity symbol, and I was going to get it on my ankle. And when I went in and talked to the tattoo artist, she said to me, it's kind of hard because it would be small and you couldn't read it. I wanted forever and always on there, like woven in. And so I ended up getting it on my foot, which was obviously enough room, but painful. Yeah, I would say that it's painful, but you know, it goes right away. And I just kept thinking, it's almost done. It's almost done. And then I'm going to have this cool tattoo. So now I'm thinking about getting another one. But I don't know if I will. At least I got one. So that was awesome.
Yes. And I bet you it's really, really cool. You're out there in Myrtle Beach, so you're sandals all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, which is super nice, because when I lived up in Connecticut, I mean, half the time you couldn't see the tattoo because it was under pantyhose and closed-toed shoes at work. And
so very nice, very nice. I love that. Now, one of your favorite quotes, it's on your website, challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful, by Joshua Marine. Tell us about why that's your favorite quote.
Well, I feel that I've had my fair share of challenges in life. We'll just put it that way. I think it became my favorite quote when, I'm trying to think. I think it was 14 years. Hey, you'd think I know these things. I think it was 14 years this November that my husband had a double heart attack and a triple bypass all in one day. And we hadn't been married all that long, maybe 6 or 7 years. Mm-hmm. And this happened. And I thought to myself, I really stopped thinking for a while. But I thought to myself, life throws you all these little and sometimes not so little things that happen. Mm-hmm. And it's not until some huge emergency like that happens that you really stop and think. Mm-hmm. So that was in November. And then my dad passed away in February, 3 months later, after he had been sick. He was in remission from cancer. He had been in remission for a couple years, but then he got sick and died in a matter of a few days. So it was very sudden. And between taking care of my husband and then taking care of my mom through all of this, I kind of lost myself. And it took me a while to find me again. And I feel in a way, and this isn't to blame anybody at all. I have 5 kids, and my kids are true blessing in my life. But raising kids, and then my husband's problem, and then losing my dad, I had lost my identity. Like I didn't even remember me anymore. And like I said before, it was kind of being a robot. You get up on Monday morning and you go to work and you do what you have to, and then you grocery shop and do the laundry and take care of everybody. And I think my need for taking care of people kind of took over my life for a while. I pretty much volunteered for everything and anything that was in my town. And I was super involved in everything. I was active when my kids were growing up, and just, you name it, I did it, to the detriment of myself, like forgetting me. So yeah, there's been more than their fair share of challenges here, but it is what makes life interesting, and the outcome, when I finally sat down and looked at everything and decided to put on paper, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go, I just felt like relief. I felt better. I was like, look, because I'm paying attention to me for a change.
Yes.
So yeah, I pretty much changed the focus, and now that's how I live my life. I put God first. I put myself second. I put my family and my husband next. My business comes fourth, and then giving back to my community comes fifth. So those are my 5 top things in that order, and that's what makes me happy, and that's what keeps me going.
Absolutely. I love that. Love that. Pamela, would you say that having your business helped you to find yourself again?
Absolutely.
To find out really who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when I first started doing it, like I said, I was like, yeah, like you, I have all these bookkeeping clients and I can do all this accounting stuff. And that's what I was trained in. So I do kind of know that, but I still wasn't happy. Like it wasn't, I wasn't happy, and I didn't feel like I was fulfilling everything that I could give of myself to other people. I had so much other knowledge. I thought, you really have managed things. You can do that. I just had to find that way of bringing that into the online space versus brick and mortar. And it took me a couple of years to find it, but I was determined. That's one thing about me. I am very determined. I am very focused. And if there's a way, I'm going to find it. And if there isn't a way, I'm going to make it.
Oh, there you go. I love that. I so love that. I'll tell you, Pamela, 2 things. I feel really, really blessed to have met you and have you now in my circle of friends. I feel really blessed for that. You're an amazing, amazing person.
So I feel the same exact way about you.
And you just said something that was just very profound. I want my audience to not miss this. Pamela was doing some great work as a revenue collector, but amidst all the challenges in her life, she had lost herself. And so being able to really, she said, I put it on paper, right? And that made a difference. You did some soul searching. You had a talk with yourself. You figured out exactly what Pamela wanted to do, and you put it on paper, and then you took action on it. So, I just want my audience to hear and see that your dreams are not for naught. Your dreams can come true. You can make your dreams a reality, but you've got to work on them. You can't just keep ignoring them. You have to work on them. Wouldn't you say, Pamela?
I will. I'm sorry. I was just thinking, this is why I get up every morning and I have a routine. This is why I do what I do, and it's repetitive. And even my husband will laugh and he's like, whoops, I woke up too early, because she's still doing her thing. And it's like, yes, I am, because I wake up and I meditate and I exercise. And now that I'm in this nicer climate, I can walk so much more, which I love. And I just take my motivation on the go. So I'm walking and I'm listening to these motivational speakers, and that's how I start my day. Yes. I mean, literally 5 days a week. If I don't do it, I feel it later in the day. I'm like,
Yeah.
shouldn't have missed that motivational tape,
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really important, no matter how you feel on a particular day or where you are in your life, you just need to start. Start from where you are and start taking action. And it's all those little steps that lead up to those bigger goals.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. This was amazing, 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 Pamela. We are getting ready to wrap this up. It was so great having you. Definitely check out Pamela at brickwallcoach.com. And Pamela has a free gift for you that will be on my website on her page. I created an entire page for Pamela. Look for it on my website, kimwigginscoaching.com, and you will see her 34 tips to increase productivity. So if you feel like you don't have enough time in the day, you want to start a business, but you're like, where do I find the time? Check out her resource, 34 tips, her free gift 34 tips to increase productivity will definitely help you so you can get going on your dreams. Thank you so much for being here, Pamela. I want to ask you one last question.
Okay.
If you will give my audience some advice or a tip or an action item that they can put in place right now to get their dreams going and get them moving in the direction that they would like to move in, what would that be?
Well, I think the number one tip is buy yourself a planner. If you can't afford a planner, you can afford the notebook, the plain line notebook, like you started back to school. Get one of those and start writing it down. Start mapping out what you want to do, whether it's mind mapping or numbering or whatever, start there. And that is like the number one thing that's going to get you going. That is a huge motivator right there.
Absolutely, Pamela. I totally agree. I mean, I get my best ideas in the shower, and I can't wait to get out the shower to write them down. Something happens when you write them down.
Yeah.
And yeah. Amazing. Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah, well, now they have shower notes, Yeah.
I need to find some.
I forget the name. What do they call it? I'll send you the info. Somebody told me that last week on a coffee chat. I'm like, are you kidding? You get them right at Amazon. And literally it hangs in the shower you just write it down. Oh my God. What will they think of next? I love it.
Exactly. I get my best idea in the shower.
Yeah.
I said.
Aqua notes. That's what they're called.
Oh,
Aqua notes.
Aqua notes. I love it, love it, love it. Because I'm like, God, why do you always give me the best ideas when I'm in the shower? Yes. So I'm rushing to get out of the shower to write them down. I'm getting those Aqua notes.
Perfect.
All right, Pamela, this was so much fun. And definitely you will see Pamela and I doing lots of things together. I'm having a giveaway event later this month. And Pamela is definitely participating as an expert in my giveaway event. And so she has a lot of knowledge to share and a lot of great resources. So definitely check her out. And I will put all of her information on her page on my site so you know exactly where to find her on social media, as well as on her website and to get her free gift. Thank you so much, Pamela. And you have an amazing, amazing day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast has ended, but it doesn't stop there. Be sure to subscribe for more strategies and advice to help you move from employee to escapreneur, to have the kind of success you have always dreamed of without sacrificing family or time. And don't forget to rate and review us so we can continue to bring you the best content possible to motivate and encourage you on this journey. See you on the next episode.